Greetings, I'm Dr. Sean Reed, author of the Dating Toolbox, available on Amazon.com. If you like what you see and hear today, please hit the like and subscribe button. Okay, so today I want to talk about probably the most important thing you need to get good at doing in order to become successful with women, and that is you must constantly be opening. You must constantly be starting conversations with women, talking to them, and then, of course, going for that phone number. And I know that this is a very hard thing for many men. Often we're terrified. We see a beautiful woman we like, and we're terrified to go talk to her. But you must get over that. And a good way to get over that is to realize that when you see a woman you're attracted to and you want to go talk to her, one of four things can happen, and really only one of them is bad. The first thing is, ideally, you go up to her, you successfully open her, you start a conversation. The conversation goes well, 4 or 5 minutes, boom, you get the phone number and you've got the phone number. Ideally, that's what happened, but of course that's not gonna happen all the time. The next level, so that's one out of four things that can happen. The next thing is you can successfully start a conversation with her. It goes fairly well, but when you go to get that number closed, she says something like, oh, thank you, I appreciate your interest, but I have a boyfriend. That's the second level. Even when that happens, however, that is still a positive because you're developing your ability to open and talk to women. So that, even though you didn't get the phone number, that still is a victory. Okay, so those are the top two things that can happen. You can start a conversation, you can get her phone number, you can start a conversation, you cannot get her phone number. The third thing, and this is something men have an irrational fear of, the third thing is you don't successfully open her. Okay, let's say we have the 4-second rule. Let's say you see her, you stare at her for too long, you kind of stare at her for 10, 12 seconds, that kind of creeps her out, and then you go to start a conversation and she buttons up and she doesn't want to have a conversation with you. Okay, that's the third thing can happen, and a lot of men are devastated by that, and I'm telling you, don't. That is not the worst thing that can happen. As a matter of fact, are you any worse off than you were 20 seconds ago when you spotted her? No, you're no worse off. And that leads me into the fourth thing that can happen. The fourth thing that can happen, the worst thing that can happen, is you don't even try. If you don't even try, you're going to have regret. You're actually going to have something bad happen to you, is because later that night you'll be at home, you won't have phone numbers, you won't have options, and you will regret. You will say, why didn't I at least go up and talk to that girl? If you at least went up and you tried to open her, you would know what would happen and you would have no regret. Okay, so there are four things that can happen. You must open women, and out of the four things that can happen, really only one of them is bad. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about types of openers. Of course, we always talk about the difference between natural and canned game. Natural game really refers to just relying on your own personality, and openers can be very simple. Openers can be as simple as, hi, my name is Sean, nice to meet you. Okay, that's a very good natural opener, nothing wrong with that. There are also opinion openers. Opinion openers are excellent. You're asking a woman's opinion of something. Do you think it's gonna rain? Oh, what do you think of that new building they just built? The opinion openers are endless. So that's another excellent type of opener. That leads to a similar type of opener, questions. Any kind of question, anything that gets her to talk is an excellent opener. And finally, we have canned openers. I've mentioned it numerous times, jealous girlfriend opener. I don't have enough time in this video to talk about girlfriend opener. I will at some time go over that canned opener in detail. But the reality is that you have natural game and you have canned game. And I've said this in other videos, a lot of guys, they erect this artificial wall between the two And some will argue if you're using canned game, you're doing everything wrong. You need to rely on your own personality. Well, the truth is, yes, we do want to rely on our own personality, but sometimes you need a little bit of help, especially when you're new. Okay? When you're new, you may need to use canned game to build your confidence, to get you used to talking to women. After you've been opening a lot of women, after a couple months of opening a woman every day, it's going to start coming naturally to you. And so that's why we just sort of want to use canned game when we need it. And ultimately, we want to build our natural game. So the bottom line is you must open lots of women. You must start conversations with lots of women. There are 4 things that can happen. Only one of them is bad. And the only bad thing that can happen is that you don't open women. If you open them, one of 3 things can happen, and all 3 of those things are good. So get out there, guys. Get in the game.